You're going to fight a bum. You're going to defend the title. I'm going to give you $2 million. We're going to do the fight at the theater. And Teofimo said, $2 million? Are you joking? And Aaron went, listen, you fought Kambosos for the Undisputed Championship. You only just sold out the theater.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Marcos Villegas for Fight Up TV, powered by Stagefront VIP, being joined with Eddie Hearn here in San Francisco, where Devin Haney and Regis Prograis just weighed in. Entertaining face-off. Yeah. I think the build-up for this fight has been freaking great because you finally have two people just talking ish to each other. And I think that's missing sometimes in these promotions. But given what's at stake, who do you see for the winner of this fight in the future, given how 140 is?
I just think the winner's going to put himself in a great position because, you know, we're going to sell this place out tomorrow night. And I think that who else is capable of doing that? You know, I know that Tank's a draw and Ryan Garcia can, but you talk about Teofimo, Shakur, you know, all these guys, they couldn't come and do this. So I think with everything that's, you know, on the line, I just feel like the winner of this is going to emerge as a superstar. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Regis looks so fired up there, but he's got the bit between his teeth. I think he's the guy with a chip on his shoulder who thinks, this is my time. You know, I deserve this now. I deserve this opportunity. And, you know, I can't wait. I think the winner, for me, if we don't make Ryan Garcia against the winner of this fight, DAZN, you know, that's what DAZN are going to want. Two guys on the same platform. You've also got Jack Catterall. You've got the winner of Liam Paro against Montana Love. You've got Richardson Hitchens. You've got all these guys. But the winner of this fight is going to want the biggest fight in boxing.
That's, yeah. Well, at 140, you would think Ryan or Teo, given, you know, the belts. Yeah, but at 35, you got Tank. But
yeah, but you know, you've got to be realistic as well. It's so difficult trying to do deals with some people because they just, you know, I'm having it at the moment in another fight where someone pulls a number out of the sky.
Ben Eubank?
No, it's not actually. It's another one. But it's like, and you're like, let me show you the budget to the fight, right? And you can see how it all works, and then you can comment on that. Oh, I'm not interested in the budget. It's like, why? Because that's my number. It's like, but how? Like, do you want the promoter to lose $3 or $4 million by paying you that number? Yeah. It's like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's really difficult sometimes to have those conversations with fighters, and that's why I like to open the books up sometimes and just say, try and understand the business. And when you get it right, like tomorrow, you see Devin and you see Regis make a lot of money, but that's because of the success of the show. And before that, Devin historically is a guy that does 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. He's done his work, he's built his profile, and now he's made it. Those other guys have got to do the same. People like Shakur, people like Boots Ennis, I'm talking about pound for pound, amazing fighters. They just never get built. And then it's too late because they're already at that level. And when they're at that level, they think they should be making that kind of money, but they've not been built. And I think Devin's done a great job.
So it's being billed Haney Prograis, though Prograis, Regis, is the champion at 140. He felt a little disrespected by that. Well, why is it? Why is it titled Haney Prograis and not the other way around?
Just because Devin's the star name of the fight, and when you do a big pay-per-view card, generally you need that big name at the front. Regis has all the championship prerequisites, so you saw him come in second on the weigh-in. He'll walk to the ring second. All that kind of stuff. But for the tagging, for the billing, for the promotion, it's Haney v Prograis. And to be fair, Regis was okay with it. I mean, he wasn't over the moon with it, but he's the bigger name. He's the undisputed lightweight world champion, you know. And like I said, that gives Regis that little bit of fire, that little chip on the shoulder to say, it's my time now. He thinks boxing owes him now his chance to get in with those big boys and make that mega money. Both guys making a lot of money tomorrow night, but there's another level to be made. And that's what they're fighting for tomorrow, as well as the World Championship.
What's the status of Haney after this fight? Does he go completely done with his one fight deal with, or is there an option on him?
Yeah, there is, but you know, and I think it's got to be one that, you know, makes sense for everybody. But Devin, you know, when we signed Devin, we had a dream for him to become undisputed world champion, and he won the WBC world title, and he got offered the fight with Kambosos. They froze us out, DeBella and Aaron, and said to Devin, you can get the fight, but you have to sign with us. And it was a horrible time because he was like, he's such a nice kid, Devin. He didn't want to let me down. We didn't want to lose him either. But we had to have a he did everything he could to stay with us, but they just wouldn't let him do it. And in the end, I had to say to him, and he said, I said, "You got to do it, mate." He said, "I promise I'll come back. After these 3 fights, just let me get, and I'll be back." And he did. Now, obviously, we've got the Regis Prograis fight for him, and he wouldn't have just come back for nothing. But he wants to be with us. But at the same time, you only get one chance, and as long as we're delivering the fights, a bit like the Canelo Alvarez relationship. As long as we've got fights, they choose us. They really do. But if we don't, they won't. And I don't expect them to either. Do you know what I mean? So with Canelo, we had such a great relationship, but I run out of opponents. So you can't expect him to go, "Oh no, Eddie, okay, I'll take less money, find someone else." Like, they just want to make their money and they want to be in big fights. And if we don't come up with the right fight for Devin, maybe we don't work with him again. But the plan is to work with Devin Haney for the rest of his career. And by the way, he might get big tomorrow night. I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't shock me if Devin Haney got beat tomorrow night. I think he's the favourite, but I think it's a very close fight.
Seeing that you guys just made Munguia and John Ryder, and giving, Oscar takes shots at you at times, but I don't feel like you ever really let that get in the way of you making a fight when it makes sense. Is it easier now to make, are we steering towards winner versus Ryan, given that you made that fight with Golden Boy?
I just feel like Ryan Garcia should be trying to win a world championship. That's what boxing's about. And we know that, having seen what we've done here tomorrow night, the fight with Ryan Garcia would be massive. But it's going to be the way the winner wins tomorrow night that will determine if Ryan or Oscar will take the fight. If Devin Haney comes out and looks unbelievable, I don't think they'll fight. If Regis Prograis looks like an animal and knocks Devin Haney out, I don't think they'll fight. So it's going to they're going to have to think they can win. But it's not just that, they're going to have to think they can win. If they think they can win, they'll take the fight. If they don't, they won't. Do you know what I mean? Whereas it shouldn't really necessarily be like that. I'm sure Ryan will believe in himself, but I can't. You talk about the WBC World Championship in your weight class on the same platform. It just.
You think it's a no-brainer?
It should be, but it's not how it works. And they're not going to want. They took the Tank fight because the money was crazy, so the risk was there, and the money for the winner here will be big. But they need to really, truly believe they can win the fight to take it, in my opinion.
Because, Ryan did mention Teo. That, I don't know, do you consider that a huge fight with Teofimo or given?
Yeah. I think Ryan against any of those guys.
I'm just trying to think, the
problem is with Teofimo, and I think he's brilliant for the sport. It goes back to what I said to you earlier.
The figures.
Yeah, but it's actually easier to make a mega fight with those guys than just a standard fight. See, I reckon, don't forget, Teofimo was supposed to fight tomorrow night, Heisman night, right?
Yeah.
So that conversation would have probably gone something like Aram going, "I'll give you $2 million.
You do an Aram impression?
Hey, Teofimo, listen, you're going to fight a bum. You're going to defend the title. I'm going to give you $2 million. We're going to do the fight at the theatre." And Teofimo said, $2 million? Are you joking? And Aaron went, "Listen, you fought Kambosos for the Undisputed Championship. You only just sold out the theatre. You fought Josh Taylor in a big fight at 140. We couldn't sell out the fucking theatre. And now you want $10 million for a poxy defense of the title? $2 million's massive money." And Bob's right. And Teofimo would have gone, "I'm not fighting for $2 million. But then you sit on the bench and then you don't fight till what? March, April. But so sometimes it's easier to make the bigger fights where there is the money in the pot, like Teofimo against Ryan or Teofimo against Devin or Regis. That is a big fight. But it's so, I feel, honestly.
It's hard if you're getting paid at one level to go back down to a different pay level,
This is why people like Deontay Wilder have been out of the ring for over a year. They weren't prepared to take, I don't know, $4-5 million for a standard defence. But you could have had two of them. Do you know what I mean? And you could have, that's what AJ did. AJ didn't make a lot of money when he fought Jermaine Franklin and Robert Helenius. But he
didn't care. Did you have to have a serious convo about that?
I said to him, he said, look.
Because usually athletes will not take a pay cut.
He said, "I want to be active.
Yeah.
And I need to rebuild a little bit. I've lost twice to Usyk, and and I said, look, if you fight Franklin and Helenius, and don't forget, he was fighting Dillian White for a lot of money, And Dillian Whyte failed his drug test with 1 week to go.
Yeah.
He boxed Robert Helenius. We had to take the fight off pay-per-view. And I said to him, are you sure you want to do this? Because the money's going to be a lot less than it was going to be if you were fighting on pay-per-view against... He said, no, I've done my camp. I've got to fight. I understand the business. But some fighters just would rather sit out and not accumulate still millions of dollars. But I don't know, it's just you've got to fight. Like, that's how you improve as a fighter. That's how you get yourself ready. And what happens is, like Deontay Wilder going into this Joseph Parker fight, he hasn't boxed for over a year. And the last fight was 45 seconds. Yeah. So you can't expect to be razor sharp going into that fight. He'll probably still win. But, you know, it's like Teofimo. Why not bank 2 or 3 million, build your profile, do you know what I mean? And then get some momentum. Because that's what's the problem's been with Teofimo's career. No momentum. You know, great win, goes missing. Comes back, inactivity, struggles. Great win, goes missing again. When was that fight? May, June, July? I don't know. Like, now he's not going to fight definitely till March, April. He's going to be out to close a year again. You can't build a profile with that kind of inactivity.
Speaking of Wilder, he did an interview with Brian Custer where he mentioned him meeting you in the plane. He said that went well, but he said that he's still got the feeling that you guys aren't going to go through with the fight with Joshua, and that you've been afraid. Joshua's been afraid. Joshua didn't even want to look at him on stage, and that's the real reason as to why that you guys know what's going to happen.
Yeah. I was really surprised to hear Deontay Wilder say that, because I sat next to him on the plane and I looked him in the eye and I shook his hand and I said, we will make this fight. We're doing everything we can to make it. No bullshit. Like, if I didn't want the fight, I really wouldn't waste my time. I mean, I've sat in dozens of meetings, like, you know, even recently around the press conference, sitting up for hours trying to reach agreements and do like, it's not just to pretend that I want the fight. So we want the fight, and you'll get the fight if they both win on the 23rd. Yeah, so I was surprised that he said that. I mean, when he says he wouldn't even look at me, I mean, Wilder couldn't have been more polite at the press conference.
Well, I could have swore I saw like a handshake between them on stage.
Hands, but
I guess
he was very respectful to Joshua. So.
Maybe hesitation as to like look at him or intimidated or something like that.
I mean, like, you know, like, I don't know what more Joshua has to do to prove his credentials of just fighting anybody. And he's definitely not scared of Deontay Wilder. He knows it's a dangerous fight. He also thinks he wins. Otherwise, we wouldn't be taking the fight. But if they both win on the 23rd, in my opinion, you will get that fight.
Was it awkward kind of doing dealings with Frank? Well, how was that first meeting like?
It's the first time I met.
What'd you guys tell each other?
It just George Warren, his son, who I do a lot of business with, sharp kid. Don't mean to be disrespectful, much younger than me, but he just brought us together. It was almost like a parent. Said, guys, I need you two to just behave yourselves.
So walk me through it. So then what happened? You're in the room.
You come and meet my dad in the changing rooms. So I said, yeah, no problem. So I walked in. Frank was at the back, and I walked over. And I said, how are you doing? I said, listen, I've had the instructions from Saudi Arabia, which is basically, you know, come on, guys, let's all work together. Let's create something special. So let's not mess it up. Good luck. And he went, I agree. Let's not mess it up. Big opportunity for all of us. Done. You know, and that was it. Went into the presser and...
So that's all this time, man. That's all you had to do. What the heck? What the heck? You know how many fights we've missed out because you guys couldn't go in there and shake your hands.
Still, the reason that it came together was because there's a huge amount of money.
Yeah, and I was going to say that's money.
Opportunity for our fighters. But also, people also sometimes forget, we've got our fighters on our platform. So has he. Our job is to keep our fighters on our platform. Now, if there's an opportunity for our fighters, for everyone to make money, and our broadcasters are happy, we can work together. But that doesn't happen that often. We definitely could have made more fights in the past, but we haven't missed out on loads and loads and loads. And you probably won't in the future. It's still got to make good business sense. But I did think to myself, it's mad that we haven't met before. You know what I mean? Two of the biggest promoters in the UK, you know. But there's a rivalry. You know, there's a family rivalry. Don't forget, I grew up with my dad and Frank Warren like this, you know. But yeah, George and Francis, who I know, you know, I get on with them. I just think, yeah, it was definitely a groundbreaking moment to sort of say. And you know, I think as you get a little bit older as well, you know, you just start to thing, is it worth it? Is it worth all the backwards and forwards? We're always going to be outspoken. We're both passionate about what we do. And, we're not just going to take shit from each other. But I think, it was definitely quite a warm moment. It wasn't like a cuddle, but there wasn't. But it was like, I don't know. So I'd like to think both parties went, he's not so bad actually.
Yeah, until the next interview.
Maybe. Yeah. But at the moment, there's no beef, so all good.
You guys should have filmed that.
Yeah.
You should have filmed it. But my last thing I wanted to touch on you with Eddie is this Amazon deal with PBC, just kind of your observations and more. I'm really interested. Did you hear anything that they were close to signing anything with DAZN, or is there still talks with DAZN? I
believe there were talks. I think, I don't know if that continues. I mean, I think, as I understand it, it's a revenue share deal, so they're going to probably need another partner, or I don't know, I don't know how the deal works, but no idea really. I think it's good for boxing, that another broadcaster comes in, because we lost Showtime. I want another broadcaster to come in, because it makes it more competitive, and hopefully the deal is a good one for everybody, and PBC fighters can get active, and we can see great fights.
I said this is the last one. This really is the last one. Ben and Eubank, what's going on? Why isn't that over the line already?
Because we're waiting on Eubank. We're trying to do a deal with him. Yeah. He's very difficult. He's been offered a huge amount of money.
Then what's the problem if there's a lot of money?
This is just what he's like. The first fight, I think he took 9 weeks to do the deal, but we're nearly out of time. Probably got another 48 hours, but it's up to him at this point. He's not going to earn half of this money anywhere else. But it's a very delicate situation with a big rivalry, a lot of bad blood, and those negotiations are always difficult to get it over the line, but we keep everything crossed.
Man, I have 2 follow-ups. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen in the UK then, because of it is? I thought his license got revoked.
I mean, it's up to the board, but there's a number of ways we can move forward with that fight. Calisal and Eubank's promoter is not a licensed promoter with the board. He's worked with other organisations in the past. I certainly wouldn't stand in the way of Conor Benn taking that fight, but we've got to do what's right. He's not suspended. He won his case with the board and UCAD, and in our opinion, he's clear to box.
When is he coming to America? That's my last one too.
Well, he wants to fight a number of fighters in America. Boots, Thurman, Barros. This kid's a very exciting fighter, but we need to try and get this fight over the line, because it's a massive fight for British boxing.
All right, Eddie. Hey, appreciate it. Cheers, mate. Thank you so much. Here with Eddie Hearn, Marcos Villegas in San Francisco. Thank you.